Well, while most all of us love the jolly old man in a red suit, there are some of them out there that are not so lovable. We're going to introduce just a couple of them to you in this special Christmas presentation of Charlie Crimebuster. Yep, it's what some people are calling the fastest minutes in podcasting.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the individuals interviewed and participating in this show, and do not represent those of Charlie Crimebuster or Peacemaker Network. All individuals described or mentioned in the podcast should be considered innocent until found guilty in a court of law. This podcast contains subject matter such as violence and graphic descriptions, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome to another Charlie Crimebuster. This is a special Charlie Crimebuster because it is being released on Christmas Eve, as we usually release our episodes on Sunday before the start of the week. Last year, I introduced you to some naughty Santas. We're going to kind of keep that up this year. Just going to give you a couple of what I think are the most fascinating, interesting stories of Santas that have gone bad. It's going to be a short listen, so hang in there if you would, please. We do want to invite you to join with us at charliecrimebuster.com if you want to get caught up on any of the past episodes. And coming episode, we have the last part of this series about the Bedford murders. And I want to tell you exactly about who I think did those murders. Now, there's a lot of controversy about whether it was the boyfriend or the girlfriend. We're going to lay all that out in our next episode. But today, we're taking the time to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and to share a special Christmas episode. By the way, if you'd like to be a part of the Charlie Crimebuster family by supporting us, go to peacemakernetwork.com, peacemakernetwork.com. There you'll read about how we are helping the men and women of military and the first responders and the cops, and you can be a part of that by becoming a part of peacemakernetwork.com. It's a great way to start the year, showing your support for these brave men and women who run toward danger instead of away from danger. All right, we're going to get right into our story now. This first one is a Santa Claus who, he decided he needed a little money to pay his elves. David Cotton. He entered a Tennessee bank back, a few years ago, dressed in a Santa suit, carrying a big sack and a gun. And then he escaped. Yep, David, he entered the SunTrust Bank in Nashville, Tennessee around 10 a.m. on the day, dressed from head to toe in a Santa suit and dark sunglasses, and demanding money at gunpoint. Now, there's an eyewitness, Richland Jones, said he took his little red sack, pulled out a gun, told everybody to be still. He went to the front of the teller line, started asking for money and putting it in the bag. He said it was a little unbelievable. He was actual jovial. He was jolly St. Nick, he said, which is a little scary. He explained that he was robbing the bank because Santa had to pay his elves. And after loading up his sack with money, David fled the building. He had the whole outfit on, he said, even the shoes. That's what customer Jimmy Edwards said. He said, I laid down as soon as he walked in and pulled that gun out. I was just wondering if he was going to be stupid enough to hurt somebody. But once he started getting what he wanted, I could see he was going to leave. Nobody was hurt during the robbery, and police did not release exactly how much money was taken. They then turned around and said that they were investigating the robbery. One FBI agent said an individual about 6 foot tall, dressed up as Santa Claus, robbed the SunTrust Bank. Maybe he got his idea back from a movie about a bad Santa. Remember that one? Billy Bob Thornton. He starred in a movie, Bad Santa, about a con man and his partner who would dress up as Santa and his little helper to rob the department store that was. Well, I wish I could tell you that this is a happy story with a happy ending, but unfortunately this one not, because David, he decided that he was going to kind of up his game a little bit, and in St. Patrick's Day, he had a robbery in a leprechaun's costume. That's right, leprechaun costume. And investigators in the city of Nashville, they said information from that robbery linked to David Christopher Cotton of Brentwood of the December robbery. Unfortunately, this one did not end up so well, because this particular Santa, David, he ended up dying during a police shootout. The same guy that held up the bank. Now, there was also a getaway driver, 20-year-old Western Kentucky University student Jonathan Ryan Skinner, and he was also killed as well. Now, police said they think that David shot himself. That's as the officers surrounded the two in a field after a car and foot chase. So there is a naughty, naughty Santa. Now, here's another one. This is a Santa who actually got away with it, and he got away with it in spectacular fashion. Happened in Brazil. You see, they're looking for a man dressed in a Santa Claus outfit. Well, get this now. He managed to steal a helicopter. You see, the thief had rented a helicopter, supposedly to surprise the citizens on the day known as Black Friday there in the country. It was the day when shops traditionally offer pre-Christmas discounts. But it appears about halfway through the flight, well, Santa had another idea in mind. He forced the pilot to take him to a small ranch outside the city. Then another person joined them in the helicopter. Then the two guys, they tied up the pilot, left him behind, and then they took off again in the helicopter. Now that pilot managed to escape, and he alerted the authorities, but in spite intensive searches, there was no sign of the helicopter or the two men. Who knows? Maybe he flew it all the way back to the North Pole. I don't know. Now, I'll be the very first to admit, my friend, that it's rather dark to picture Santa this way, but I do have some good news. The greater picture is that the real Santa, he's been spreading joy for years, and he is awesome. As one father who came to explain the Santa phenomenon, I loved it. He explained it this way. When his son came to age not to believe the Santa story anymore. He told his son, "Nope, son, you're wrong. You're thinking the Santa's not real. Santa is very real. First of all, he expresses the joy of giving." And he said, you know what? It's a real way to share gifts with your children. Now get this, with the sheer joy of giving without, wait for it, needing or wanting credit for the gift. It does teach us the real reason for gift giving. To give unselfishly, not wanting anything in return. That's the way the Santa deal works out, right? The kids all think Santa brought the gifts. They don't run up and thank Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad just learned the joy of giving. Not wanting anything in return, not even appreciation. Oh my, that all of us could learn to give that way. Unselfishly and unconditionally. Well, enough said. This is Charlie Crimebuster. I want to say to all of our Christmas audience, thank you, the thousands of you who've downloaded our episodes. Thank you so very much from the bottom of our heart. And we want to be the very first to say, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. We want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The next episode, we're going to go back to the Bedford murders. We're going to tell you who we thought really did the deed. But until this time, next time, Merry Christmas. Be safe. Be alert to make it one of the greatest Christmases ever.